things which are, it deals with the future, the immediate future of the British prison service. Titan prisons are a big thing because the old Victorian prisons in London are being closed because that real estate is incredibly valuable, and these huge prisons are being built in the north and up in Scotland to house the prisoners who are being moved. The prison estate is becoming much bigger. The number of people in prison doubled between 1993 and 2012. And of course the privatisation of prisons. Fellside is a private prison, and that's becoming a sort of very prevalent thing.
So do you think that the sort of increasing prevalence of prisons in Britain is why it's an increasingly popular topic for fiction? You mentioned Orange is the New Black, and there do seem to be a lot of sort of fictional representations of prison life. Do you think that's something on the rise?
It probably is on the rise, yeah, because it feels like a very topical issue at the moment. You know, the prison system is in crisis, and so we're hearing a lot about it. We're hearing a lot about the problems that are thrown up. When you incarcerate 1,500 people in a facility that was built for half that number, you know, the increase in mental illness in prisons, the increase in suicides and attempted suicides, all of that stuff makes it you know, very, very much in the public eye. But at the same time, I think it's a perennial theme. I think people love prison dramas because prison dramas, they sort of, prison is a claustrophobic setting. It's a completely enclosed setting in which people are forced to interact. And it's also a setting in which a lot of the rules that regulate conduct in the rest of society cease to operate, and a new set of rules come into place, all of which makes it a sort of very, very attractive subject for drama, I think.
And your protagonist, Jess, is a very complicated character, and you seem to be drawn to these women, if you think about Girl with All the Gifts as well. Why do you think you're so keen to write female characters in particular?
I don't have a ready answer for that. It does seem to be a phase I'm going through. I seem to be very comfortable at the moment writing female protagonists. The only thing I can pinpoint as a turning point, because before Girl with All the Gifts, I'd written John Constantine in Hellblazer, Lucifer, Felix Castor. I think it's probably fair to say that most of my protagonists were male. And then I co-wrote 2 novels with my wife, Linda, and our daughter, Louise, City of Silk and Steel and House of War and Witness. And coming out of that, I seemed to be in a different place creatively. It certainly gave me the confidence to find my inner 10-year-old girl when I was writing The Girl with All the Gifts. And I guess I'm still in the sort of the wake of that sort of creative experience.
What was that like, writing with your family?
It was incredibly rewarding and incredibly stressful at the same time. Any collaboration takes 2 to 3 times as long as writing something by yourself, because to do it right, you have to talk and argue and argue and argue about every beat and every nuance. But the upside, and it's a wonderful upside, is that it sensitizes you to your own default options. There are a lot of decisions you make when you're writing that you're not even aware are decisions because they just come automatically. But when you're co-writing with somebody else, you have to kind of negotiate and haggle and converge on a voice and a point of view and a style that works for everybody in the team. And in doing that, you sort of, you become hypersensitive about your own style and voice. And I think you come out of it in a different place. You definitely gain in awareness through it.
And collaboration, of course, is an important part of the process of turning a book into a film. We're already excited about the film version of Girl. How's that process been for you?
Just unbelievably rewarding and fulfilling. I know some writers, when their work is adapted, have nightmarish experiences because they lose any kind of control over the process, and they watch as their baby is sort of turned inside out and turned into something completely different. The amazing thing here was that I was working on the film and the novel side by side. They both grew out of a short story that I wrote, Iphigenia and Alice. So each version of the story kind of fed on the other. It felt like I was finding 2 different paths through the same story space. And we did end up making different decisions for the movie. It's fundamentally the same story, and it definitely builds to the same climax. But within that, we chose different ways of doing things. I think some of the relationships are nuanced slightly differently, particularly the relationship between Caroline Caldwell and Helen Justineau, the teacher. It was just amazing to see actors of that caliber speaking lines that I'd written, and I still can't believe it's happening.